Hey, is your drum head busted? Did you go to play it and it just sounds awful? Have you had the same drum head on your drum set for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years? And maybe you're a parent and your kid has completely snapped his drum head and you have no clue how to repair that thing. Why don't you come with me and let's get that drum head fixed? Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to change out a drum head on a normal 22-inch bass drum. This is my Pearl Masters Vintage Sunburst drum set. It's my Masters logo. I think it's beautiful. You can really see the wood grain and the beauty that that drum has. You're going to need a drum head. This is what I'm going with. I'm going with a Remo pinstripe. You can use any kind of drum head you want just as long as it matches the size. As you can see, I'm using a 22-inch clear bass drum head, and you can see all the details there. Now, not everybody uses a drum muffle. You can use, especially on this particular drum, you can use it wide open without any kind of dampening whatsoever. But I find that this particular drum muffle does really good in terms of consistency, spreading out the sound, and giving you that big, robust, rich, warm boom. This is just a normal drum key. You can pick these up anywhere for a couple bucks, but I'm a Pearl guy, so I focus on using Pearl on everything. I can show you right here. It's normal standard there that's going to fit pretty much any bass drum. I usually use 2 sticks when I change a bass drum head. I use the timpani mallet with the cotton, kind of looks like a rabbit tail. Gives it a little bit more of a rich, warm boom, and then I use a regular drumstick. It gives you a sharper, crisper kind of sound. So here is the tutorial, and you can see how I'm pointing right here. These are the first thing that we're going to have to remove. We're going to have to remove the drum lugs. You're going to go in a diagonal pattern. Don't go around the drum. You want to take the drum head off in a very even way so you don't snap the wood or put undue stress on the drum. So you can see right here I'm slowly taking one lug off, and it should be very easy to do, minimal effort. You shouldn't have to push too hard to get any drum head off. And as you can see, I'm taking that drum lug off and just setting it to the side where you know where they are. Don't throw them around. You know, sometimes I keep a plastic baggie, like a Ziploc bag. You can keep them all in so they don't go, they don't grow legs and walk away. So I want to go diagonal and see where my left hand is right now. You can't see it in the video, but I'm kind of working diagonally across from that. And you just repeat this process until all of the drum lugs are safely removed. Now that all the lugs are off, you're going to want to take off the wooden hoop. Make sure not to put too much pressure on it. It can snap pretty easy if it's fragile. And just simply take off the drum head and set it aside. Normally what I like to do when I take off a drum head, I get just a regular cloth and wipe around the edges, because sometimes dust and dirt and little things like that will get on the hoop, and you want to wipe that clean. You don't want that to be dirty when you put the new head on. It's clean. You take the Remo muffle that I'm using, and you'll notice 2 different spots. You'll notice a Remo crown and a 22. I put the 22 at the bottom, and I put the crown almost even with the logo on the top of the drum, just to keep it symmetrical. And you put the normal muffle in there, it should just fit right in. It won't be exactly perfect, but good enough will do, just as long as it's sitting in there snugly and nice. And then you get your bass drum head, and I try to put the Remo crown logo right there, even with the top center of the drum where the logo is on top. And I just secure it, make sure it's on evenly, that it's not overlapping or hasn't got any weird feelings to it. Stick it on there snug, and then I'll grab my hoop, wipe off any residue or dirt that's on the bass drum pedal mount, and I just put it right there, center it up, just like that. And push down just a little bit. You don't need a lot of pressure. It doesn't click, but you want to push down just a little bit and make sure it's even. If your bass drum hoop has a bass drum mount plate on the bottom of it, make sure that's centered at the bottom. Then you just repeat the process in reverse. You take your drum lug and put it in one of the screws that go on the bottom. When you mount this, you don't have to crank it all the way down. You want to just tighten it to the point that you cannot screw it any tighter with your fingers. So you want to make it finger tight before you tune it. Don't take your drum key and really hammer it down really hard, because that's going to cause a lot of issues. It could actually damage your drum head and most of all your drum hoop, and that will be a little bit of a costly repair or a replacement. And you put them on the same way that you took them off. You just work diagonally across the drum. There you go. Once you've got them all finger tight, you can grab your drum key and you can begin the process of tuning. If you look at this section right here, you'll see like little waves on your drum head. You want to try to get rid of those. So you're going to basically give 2 clicks, 2 turns, not all the way around, just 2 quarter turns on each drum lug. And that should give you a sufficient tight. Now, tuning is different for every person. Some people like a more tight tune. Some people like it a little loose. And you can see there how it sounds. And you tune it to your preference. Make sure one lug isn't tighter than the other. Again, this is just a very basic tutorial on how to change out a bass drum head. This isn't meant to do any in-depth tuning. People sometimes tune the drum to the lowest note on the guitar or a note on a piano. That's not really what I'm going for here. I just want to show you how it's done, and as you progress in your abilities as a drummer, you can tune it however you wish. Let's see how it sounds. Sounds pretty decent. Try it with the other stick. Don't just hit it hard. Do some softer hits too, because it's going to sound different. It should sound just as good soft as it does loud. Once you've got it the way you want it, you can reattach your bass drum pedal to your bass drum mount on the bottom of your bass drum hoop. You'll see like a little lever right there in the middle. Make sure that wraps really good. Put it on there so your drum hoop does not get scuffed. Next, you'll see this little crank right here, and you just tighten it. Do not over tighten. You don't want to crack the wood. Just tighten it enough to where it's giving you a little bit of resistance, and that should be sufficient. If you are a drummer that uses a lot of power, 1 click beyond resistance should be more than fine for what you're doing. Let's test it, see how it sounds. Hey, thanks for watching. This has been Steven with how to change a drum head. Hope this has been useful to you. If it's been useful to you, make sure to give this video a like, give it a comment, share it around if you need to. Hope it's useful to you, and we will see you again next time. Thanks.